one. Alexander Radev, how are you? And welcome to the Data Strategy Show, 66 Questions, Data Leaders Unplugged. How are you doing, Alex?
Thank you. I'm doing great. I'm for some time alone with the dog. No family around, but yeah.
Well, sometimes that's a good thing.
Yes.
I can hear that in your voice. Yes. Okay. Well, Alex, you know the format. You know that we're going to do 66 questions, rapid fire, and I'm just going to go straight into it. So, Alex, how do you start your day?
I start my day with coffee and a dog walk.
Yeah,
that's
is that an early one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually either it's now that there's no school time, I do that a bit earlier and the warmth. Otherwise, it's usually going to school with the dog.
Very good. So it's a good walk for everybody then. Yes. And you get to spend some time with your daughter, which is great.
Yes.
What would you say is your biggest strength?
My biggest strength, that should be, I think the theme of this would be a raw truth. Yeah, I come from a culture that is significantly more direct. I have lived in Germany for a while.
Okay.
It's quite direct.
Yeah. Have you ever lived in Holland? It's even more direct.
No, but yeah, Eastern Europe and Germany is like
very similar.
Idea. Yeah.
So the raw truth and very direct. I like that. What's the biggest learning experience you've ever had?
The learning experience is, what was it? Either you win or you learn, right? So it should be a failure of some sort. I think the learning experience that was most significant would be maybe personally to learn about myself. I had previously I tried to control everything. I know when I was younger, I wanted everything to be ordered and placed and structured. And through personal hardship and also having kids, which are kind of hardship as well, and a blessing.
Yes, don't forget to say that.
No, they are a blessing, but they also present things that you cannot imagine before having kids. So that has taught me a lot about relinquishing control and dealing with the messy stuff.
I think you're right that kids bring a level of chaos that you're just not ready for, are you? Yeah. And then suddenly it hits you in the face and you think, what the hell happened there? So yeah, that's good. So tell me, what's your favorite time of day?
Again, the team with the kids, mine are a bit older, but through them I appreciated the time of the day when you're sleeping. So yeah. So that's having enough time to sleep is always a challenge once you have kids until they go away. But
Yep. And then we worry about them when they're away. Tell me, what's one vice you wish you could give up?
Oh, vice. Currently it would be probably the last of the social media. I use it as learning, but YouTube is something that I use for learning, and but it's also kind of all these things are addictive. So
you're right. I find that you can get sidetracked on it very quickly, can't you? Yeah. What makes you angry?
I don't think I have. When I was young, again, probably I was getting angry quite a lot. Now, not so much. I tend to become more disappointed of things.
Okay.
But yeah, angry very rarely.
Well, that's good. So that means you're very patient then.
Ah.
Or you've just learned not to get angry about situations. Tell me, what's your best trait?
It should be, again, coming back to the one that I told you is my strength. I think it's like it's a strength, it's a weakness, and I
Yes.
think it's the best thing that I can offer, which is quite distinct, at least around myself. Very rarely I have that. So I
How
think I bring
how
a
is
level.
how is that level of raw truth accepted in the workplace?
Um, oh, well, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it backfires.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it's important for some things to be said and explained so that we
Yep.
can move beyond some pretense or some delusional thinking.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
Mm-hmm.
of this is happening.
Yeah.
I'm not
Agreed.
referring to one specific place. Like that's a normal thing. We don't
Mm-hmm.
want to see things that are
Mm-hmm.
not comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Most humans don't. Yeah. So, what are you most excited about these days?
oh, excited. Privately, I'm excited to finally have soon my bathroom done.
Okay. Well,
uh,
that's exciting.
Professionally, I'm excited of introducing a more systematic approach to data management
Mm-hmm.
at my gym. We do have some things, but not. It has not been systematized
Mm-hmm.
yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
I think I'm either I don't deserve compliments, or I think I'm a bit intimidating for people to approach me and give me one.
Oh, come
uh,
on.
Really,
Really?
yes. I don't think that. I don't remember. Or
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Tell me, when are you the most inspired?
Oh, the most inspired when I see professionally, when I see my team work as a team and deliver
Mm-hmm.
something very complex and very um, something that even they didn't believe it's
Mm-hmm.
doable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Similarly, for me, you would see the track. There is always the private and the professional.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
private would be when my um, daughters do something that again goes beyond what they thought that they
Yeah.
could do,
Yeah.
like gymnastics, swimming, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or academically.
Mm-hmm.
So
Fantastic. What makes you smile the most?
it's these achievements
Mm-hmm.
that are not laugh but smile and be joyful when I
Mm-hmm.
see these things happen.
What's the one thing that people don't know about you?
Oh, I'm quite an open person. I have been described by uh, one of my professional experiences. One person described me. You don't have any poker face.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
yes, um, but I
Well, what you
think
see is what you get, basically.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But one thing that's I don't think it's when you're close to me, you know that, but it's not um, very known probably
Mm-hmm.
outside is I'm very, how to say, conservatively looking Orthodox, Eastern Orthodox Christian. So
Uh-huh.
it is,
Okay.
and it's like very important part of my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
So those values you
and
live by,
and
people don't necessarily see
well,
that.
try to. I don't think anybody can
Yes.
fulfill this standard.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, yeah, it's but it's some important
Something to aspire to.
integral part. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What are the three things that you can't live without?
Um, so my family, my wife and my children.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. I think the next thing would be the church experience,
Mm-hmm.
and then the last thing is productive work.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this gives us meaning. So work is something that I think should be good, should be
Yeah.
enjoyable, and should be giving you. It cannot give you all the meaning of your life,
Mm-hmm.
but it's part of you. You're spending so much time. You need
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
to like it. You need to love it,
Mm-hmm.
and
True.
it needs to give you some part of the meaning.
Yeah. And joy. Yeah. Absolutely. So, a slightly different question. What's your current TV character obsession, if you've got one?
So probably Grey's Anatomy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like the medical. You like the
Uh,
detail in that.
yes, and it might come into another question later. Uh, I did want to become a surgeon when I was a kid.
Ah, okay. So you like all that gory stuff and watching,
Yes,
yeah, and all the
yes.
words and all the technical things that they have to do around it. That's why you ended up as a data scientist, eh? What's the most adventurous thing you've done in your life?
Most adventurous thing. I think the it would sound probably boring, but I think attempting and actually executing move from Germany to UK
Mm-hmm.
on my own without any buffer in between was like
Okay.
a really crazy experience.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And
Driving a van,
how old were you?
It's 2014, so it's
Okay.
been 8 years ago.
8 years ago,
So
yeah, yeah. And you literally came in a van and with all your
yes,
stuff in it.
yeah, yes. Um,
Fantastic.
yeah, it was an insane experience. I
Well,
didn't
I
have
get,
any help, relocation and
uh-huh.
so on.
Wow. Wow. How would you define yourself in 3 words?
Hmm. At this point, I see myself as in a raw. The team is
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Then it would be systematic, but at the same time creative.
Mm-hmm.
Then these 3 words should be
Mm.
the one that I know that they are kind of not fitting well together, but it's
Well, I mean, you can't always be absolutely. There's points where you need to be systematic, and there's points where you need to be creative, right? You can't always just fit into one area. You need to
yes.
think in a different way as a leader. So I think those do come into it, certainly. And the raw truth, I think, as a leader, one definitely needs that for sure. Yeah. So is there anything that is currently inspiring you in the data world right now?
Um, um, well, um, I would say that most of the talk about data mesh, data
Uh-huh.
fabric, and so on
Mm-hmm.
is, I would say, the it's an inspiration with a negative sign.
Uh-huh.
It's I feel that it's a kind of another distraction
Mm-hmm.
on the way to getting value out of data,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
more um, than actually bringing anything new to the table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
that's basically the thing that I think it's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think it's overplayed, overstated, and overcomplicated right now as well for a lot of
And
companies.
if you're a big company like GE or HSBC or some of these, maybe there's place for this there.
Maybe, but you look at those companies as well.
Yeah,
and
but
they still don't even have a lot of their foundations in place. So, there's a lot of work to do. Yeah. What's the best piece of career advice you've ever received?
Two. One is from a boss that I had many years ago, 2010. So he asked me a question: what do you want to do? Do you want more leadership and or more technical specialization? Basically, this made me reflect. Do I want this or do I want that? And back then I realized that if I want to really be impactful, because I'm quite technical, so it's not a problem for me.
Sure.
But if I have only these hours and these two hands, right? So if I want to achieve and to have bigger impact, I need to lead people. And he helped me to basically say, okay, what are the first steps? Go to Toastmasters, do this, learn some things. You don't have to start at work, right?
Sure.
So this was one of the first thing, and then another leader in the same company told me, okay, you need to stop caring too much for the technical stuff. You need to start caring about the people, because people are the way that you achieve stuff. Technical is means to an end.
Yes.
In a company, it's an organization of people. You
Correct.
need to pay first attention to people and then to the technical stuff.
Very, very, very sage advice. In that same sort of theme, do you remember a time when your career completely changed? You started off on some other track and then suddenly you're in this new track, or have you always kept constant within your?
Well, I started my career while I was in the second year of the university back in Bulgaria.
Okay.
In 1998. And I started as a software developer.
Okay.
So for about 10 years, I was a software developer.
Yeah.
Until I was studying and changed from one thing to another finally graduated maths and then moved to go into the data domain. And
okay.
The shift of the seeing, for example, databases and data was very dramatic for me when I entered
so you really do remember that point, going from delivering applications and software to then suddenly, was it a complete change for you? Was it a very full-on?
Yes. From one perspective, I do remember that, and I still see people on LinkedIn especially talking about that, and most software developers, they see the database as an implementation detail, like something hide behind an ORM or whatever, and like it's the dirty thing. Don't touch it, right? Now I realize how much actually it can offer, and transactional database or analytical database, they're different, and but it needed this click to start with data first in order to understand what's going on. Now I think the applications are just data collection devices.
Yes, absolutely. That's all they are. You're right. Some trigger happens and suddenly they're, collecting a bit of data. Absolutely. Do you have any regrets?
I don't have regrets in the sense that whatever I have made as a decision in the past, it is led me to be where I am. I don't like this. Oh, if you could do this.
Yes.
No, I couldn't. I was there. I did that. I had this information, right?
Yeah.
You cannot judge.
You made the best decision that was possible.
Well, you hope.
Yes, but you can't go, as you said, go back. So no regrets, basically. Your life has been in your hands, and you've made the best of it with the information that you've had.
The points that were in
Yeah.
my hand, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the right way to be. What's heavily played on your music playlist right now?
Oh, I don't listen to music so much
Oh, you
anymore.
don't? Okay.
No,
Okay.
no.
All right.
Well, if you disregard the religious chant,
Uh-huh.
yeah. If you don't, there's a lot of that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay.
But,
What three things are at the top of your bucket list right now?
bucket list is bathroom, data management, and as I shared in the short talk before, getting a school place for my older daughter.
Yes, yes, which is I'm still thinking about that, which is terrible, I think. In this day and age, you can't find a school place in England for your daughter. Awful. Do you have a guilty pleasure?
Guilty. I I
Or
rarely,
or as a
rarely,
Catholic, or as a Catholic, is that the wrong word to use?
I I don't. That's the thing. I'm Mr. Orthodox, so it's like
Yeah,
we the emphasis is not on guilt. It's about
Uh-huh.
responsibility. So
Uh-huh.
guilt is, but yeah. So something that I should not be doing and
Correct.
I'm doing is again going back to the drifting off on YouTube.
Ah. Okay.
Wow, it's very valuable resource. There's so
Mm-hmm.
much that you can
Oh,
learn,
huge
and
amounts.
but it is you can easily drift off and.
Absolutely. Agreed. So, what book did you most recently finish?
Book that I recently finished. My gosh, should have been. I don't remember which was the one that I finished, but I can say the one that probably one of the most impactful books in the
Mm-hmm.
last several years for me
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
Algorithms to Live By.
Algorithms to Live By.
Yes,
Okay. Who's that
it's
by then?
I don't remember the author, but it's like a really systematic approach of reviewing from layman
Mm-hmm.
side
Mm-hmm.
quite serious mathematical
Okay.
problems.
I'm gonna write that down actually. Algorithms to Live By. That's what I need, layman's terms.
Yeah, and it makes these things approachable, not
Yes.
theorems and so on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
interested, you can always go to these things as well. But
Of course, but I think that's the point. You scare people off the minute you start talking about a classification algorithm or whatever it is, and and then suddenly your k-means clustering and blah blah blah, and who knows what you're talking about. But
yeah.
I think layman's terms is much easier, definitely for me. If you could go back in time, what would you tell your 16-year-old self?
Don't worry too much; things would work out.
Good advice. Good advice. If you could switch lives with one person for a day, who would it be?
Oh my god. Given the impact that he's having, I want to be in his head to see what he's experiencing and what he like. That's not life, but I want to see how he's thinking. That's probably one of the most significant data professionals for me, at least, is
Who's that?
Michael Stonebreaker. So that's
Okay.
the guy who worked on creating Postgres.
Uh-huh.
He created the um, C store and H store. These are the academic things that's
Mm-hmm.
invented the columnar databases
Mm-hmm.
and the new
Mm-hmm.
SQL. So he's working on data integration at the moment. So
Right.
he's academically and as well on the business side.
Mm-hmm.
These things are now commercialized and
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. I like that. No one's actually said anything like that, which is pretty cool. What's the most ridiculous fact that you know? Come on, you're a data person.
Well, it would be it's something that I want I used to shock my daughters with.
Oh yeah.
Is and so the Santa, Santa, the
Yes, yes,
image, the commercial image of Santa,
yes.
there is the real person behind this, which
Uh-huh.
is a bishop in modern day Turkey, right?
Uh-huh.
Myra. So that's Saint Nicholas
Uh-huh.
in the church. Well, he was part of the first ecumenical council. So
Right.
basically, where they gathered all the bishops of the
Mm-hmm.
church,
Mm-hmm.
and so there was a heretic. Well,
Yeah.
that was condemned, but basically he slapped him in the face on the, on the council in front of
Okay.
everybody. So
Uh-huh.
Santa's image
Yes.
slapping,
Is not
yeah,
is not all that it seems.
yeah.
If you could resurrect one person from history and put them in the world today, who would it be?
For me, he already is resurrected. So
Okay, fair enough.
I think the answer is clear.
That's fair enough. What's the one thing you wish you knew at the age of 19?
I think, well, if 19, I don't know the exact thing that would be there, but anything that would have given me enough information to make lots of money.
I think
At
we
this age, it's yeah,
yes. Yeah. That doesn't stand out at that age, does it? You're
yeah.
you're too worried about other things. If you were not living in the UK, where would you be living?
Probably. So where I would have lived before, where I lived before
Mm-hmm.
I came here, was Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So practically, probably I would have been there. But if you ask me now, what I'm thinking realistically, probably the place that is drawing me because of weather and because I want to also learn the culture is Portugal.
Okay.
I
Wow.
don't know too much about it,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we have been there once. I liked it quite a lot, and
yeah.
I want to dip myself a little bit longer and
Mm-hmm.
learn how it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I hear. I mean, I've been there. It's a beautiful place. A lot of friends of mine have now moved there. So
yeah.
it's interesting. If you could offer one piece of advice to upcoming data leaders, what would it be?
Um, the same that I got. Stop paying attention to technology.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And
Good advice.
to algorithms and all these things. Pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to people.
Yep. Yep. Really, really good. What's the one city you've always dreamed of traveling to?
Interestingly enough, I have not been in New York, so that's one place
Okay.
that
Yeah, yeah.
I would like to visit, and
Mm.
probably Tokyo is the other one.
Ah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah. Both very, very different places. Um, but as crazy as they come.
yeah, I have
What's
been the third one, London.
what's the best lesson your parents ever taught you?
Parents. Hmm, complicated question.
Okay.
Um, hmm, I don't know. I think probably to to they have not taught me this
Mm-hmm.
practically, but because of them, I learned to not regard authority in a great
I see.
place,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and to be able to question authority,
Okay,
to
good.
not be afraid
Uh,
to challenge things and so on.
great. I like that. Yeah. What's your favorite food?
Food. um, yeah, almost anything. I
Anything.
like food.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. An all-round foodie. Do you have a favorite podcast that you listen to?
and that would be quite obscure. It's on YouTube, and
Uh-huh.
the guy goes into so many tangents. And um, the podcast is called Eli, the Computer Guy.
Okay. Like that.
He has million subscribers, but
Wow.
not many. So I think maybe he's shadow banned or whatever. He doesn't have so many views, and
Uh-huh.
now he shifted into political commentary,
Ah.
and very interesting points of view.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
I looked that up, actually. That's good. How do you relax?
Relax. um, I struggle with the concept of that.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay. You've always got to be busy. You've always got to be doing
yes,
something.
I
Yeah.
need to do that, otherwise I'm bored.
Uh-huh.
Even before the age of social media and constant
Mm-hmm.
distractions,
Mm-hmm.
I always needed to be occupied with something, otherwise
Okay.
I was like totally bored.
Yeah. Are you an only child?
Not.
No? Okay.
I'm actually one of three.
Uh-huh.
But my sister, the first sister, is 9 years younger than me, and the other one is 27 years younger than me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
wow.
from my father's second
Yeah. So it's big
marriage.
age
Yeah,
gaps. Yeah.
yeah,
So I get that. And that sort of common understanding between the two of you or three of you is very difficult.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What's a movie that made you cry? Maybe there isn't one, but
Cries. Cry is very hard. I have cried when I was younger.
yeah.
I do remember that, but movies, no.
No.
I'm and I'm trying to actually, even with my daughters who are girls, right, and
Mm-hmm.
you expect them to be crying and so on.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm trying to show them that's mostly useless waste of time to do that.
You
It's
mean
better,
it's better,
yeah.
well, it's better to take it head on. Is that what you're
Either to take action or
yeah.
to withdraw and share this and talk about, like,
Yes.
crying itself is like,
Yeah. Well,
what does
sometimes and again, this is a movie, so
yeah
it could be something that triggered. Anyway, who would you say is your biggest inspiration?
biggest inspiration? I think on the technical side, it's
Mm-hmm.
again this
Michael. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
Stonebreaker.
Mm.
He has such a deep understanding about the problems in the data,
Mm-hmm.
the approaches that work, and the pointless. For example, he, like 2016, he was already talking about, like, everybody has ditched MapReduce,
Mm-hmm.
even Google, right? That
Mm-hmm.
invented it. So, and he's saying, and everybody knew that this is useless thing because even before that, but
Yeah.
some people needed to reinvent and figure out that it's
Yep.
useless, right?
Yep.
Um, so the depth of the knowledge and
That he
experience that he
has.
has,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'll have to look him up. What's the one talent that you wish you had?
Hmm. I think humor.
Okay.
It,
Yeah.
yeah,
Come on, you can't be that bad.
I am.
Okay. All right.
At Toastmasters there, when I was going quite some years now back,
Mm-hmm.
there
Mm-hmm.
was a point that you needed to do humorous speeches in one of
Right.
the, and I tried. No, then there was a menu, and like I would challenge myself. I'm gonna try
Uh-huh.
to do it, and like
Uh-huh.
we have 5 different projects on humor, and like
Yep.
no, it didn't work.
Well,
So
the the,
yeah,
the best comedians are the deadpan. I mean, some of the straight actors who are not comedians are brilliant when they go into comedians role. So,
but it's apparently something that's not working out for me,
okay.
at least so far. So
do you, do you have a favorite exercise?
Favorite exercise? Yes, this would be the deadlift.
Ah, okay, you do that. Wow. I'm like, how many kgs or how many pounds can you lift?
The last one that I was doing in 160.
Okay.
Not too much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. So is that something you've always liked doing, or is it just
Oh
a
no. I was up to probably 25, 26. I was like, no, sport is not for me. Uh, uh, I was very cerebral and so on. But then I I followed in the back then it was forums and so on in the
Mm-hmm.
internet and
Mm-hmm.
in Bulgaria, and they said he now has fitness studios and so on. Back then he was not so popular,
Mm-hmm.
but there was one phrase that was written somewhere like your body is
Mm-hmm.
part of who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and if you want your brain and mind to be functioning properly, they are like they're product of your body, so
Yes.
you need to
Yeah,
like, oh my god, that makes sense.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, so and then I basically followed what he is advising and so on.
Okay. Very
um
cool.
yeah.
What's a superpower you wish you had?
I I think I have my superpower.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
again going back to telling the raw truth.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
What's something that you don't want to be doing in 10 years' time?
I oh, hmm sorry about that.
The dog is having
Yes,
a bark.
yes, yes. So what I don't want to be doing is I think I like all the things that I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
actually. So there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing particular. Small
That
things. I don't. I would like to have done everything that I want to do in the house, but I think that's a delusional thinking. In the sense it never ends,
it
right?
never
You
ends.
always
Yes, yes. I know
so
what you mean.
apart from that, like all the things that I do, I like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Great, great. What's the best thing that happened to you this year?
this year,
Mm.
this year, I don't think much has happened this year for me. It's
Mm-hmm.
um, extraordinary. Last year was we bought this house, which was
Mm-hmm.
a complete dumpster.
Okay.
And between jobs, I had 2.5 months break between the jobs to
Mm-hmm.
actually start the process of renovation.
Okay. So
It it
you
can
did a lot of renovation yourself.
it continued for 6 months.
Wow.
There was a period where there was no floors anywhere.
Oh
Like
my goodness.
yeah.
Oh my
Kitchen
goodness.
moving to another place. It was like absolute mess. So this year I'm thankful that not much has happened.
Okay, okay. There was enough last year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Eventful, eventful. Is there any movie that makes you really, really laugh very, very hard?
Can movies. I have not watched movies recently, but
No? Anything that you remember that really did
so
make you laugh?
one probably quite old movie
Mm-hmm.
by Pedro Almodovar,
Oh
the
yes. Yeah,
Spanish
yeah,
producer.
yeah.
So he has the Women on the Verge of Nervous
Oh
Breakdown.
yes.
So
Yes, I know it.
that's
Brilliant.
I remember I have watched this movie probably 5 times. I have
Okay.
laughed every
Yeah,
single
yeah, yeah.
time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good movie. Good movie. Do you believe in second chances?
Depends on about what,
Mm-hmm.
and depends on who.
Okay.
Um, so just blanketly, I cannot say yes or
Okay.
no.
Depends on the situation and the
Yes,
context and
yes. Sometimes it just if for me, trust is very important.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Mm-hmm.
the trust is broken, it's very hard for me
Yeah.
to move beyond that.
Mm-hmm. So just
Errors and mistakes, that's fine,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But when
if the
it's
trust is
trust,
broken, yeah.
yeah. On that same vein, as a leader, you talked about teams, you've talked about your own development. What would you say are the 3 words that best describe your leadership style?
I would say the 3 things that I'm requiring from my team.
Mm-hmm.
These are the only requirements that I have.
Mm-hmm.
The first is to be having fun.
Mm-hmm.
The second is to be learning, and the
Mm-hmm.
third is to be productive.
Fantastic. Like that. What you mentioned it earlier on about the sort of data management systematic approach. What are currently your top 3 data challenges?
What is coming as a result of not having fully systematic data management is the data quality,
Mm-hmm.
Which is, again, there's no 100% ever.
Yeah, no, there isn't. It's
Um,
always being worked on.
but yeah, so we need to introduce this as a dedicated
Mm-hmm.
practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just as distributed thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's one thing. The culture around data is, I think, one of the I don't remember who has posted this, that normally when you get into the business, you see 80% of the investments is in technology and
Mm-hmm.
20 is in data, and it should be
Mm-hmm.
probably the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that's quite correct in the
Mm-hmm.
sense, yeah, 20% get the devices, the programs, the things that are collecting the data,
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest is of the budget, resources, effort should be in the data domain. And there, I think it should be around 20-80 again from
Mm-hmm.
this split
Mm-hmm.
into the data management
Yep.
and the data science and analytics. So
Mm-hmm.
I think data science and analytics is where you get the value out of the
Okay.
data.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like to say, if you think about data, there are 2 broad areas. One is the single version of truth, and the
Mm-hmm.
other is multiple versions of truth.
Yep.
And like how
Yep.
multiple? Yeah. So listen, simple. When you go into your bank account, you want everything to be correct, right? All the transactions. It's not coming from
Absolutely.
one system. It's coming
Mm-hmm.
from 10 different
Yeah.
systems.
Yeah.
It should be correct, right? This is single
Absolutely.
version of truth.
Correct.
When you want to figure out, is this transaction fraudulent? There's no, I mean, in reality, there is nobody can tell you for sure.
Sure.
Right? Even if you check, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is, you can figure out for sure probably 2 months later with
Mm-hmm.
lots of investigation.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
algorithm that gives you this is probably this.
Mm-hmm.
Another algorithm can tell you, well, the probability is different.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, that's why there's no one thing that can give you 100%
100%.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Agreed.
why I'm saying this is where you're making the money. The other is like compliance. The other is
Yes.
things that need to be there. You know
Yeah.
that this
Yeah.
needs to
Yeah.
be there for the function, for the system. But
Correct.
the other is like, do you know how this works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Recommendation systems.
Mm-hmm.
Think the recommender system of YouTube or
Yeah.
Facebook. They are what makes money for these companies.
Of course
right?
they are. Just as Amazon, has basically made that on their recommendations.
Yeah.
What are the 3 words to describe living in the UK?
I would say for me specifically, unexpected, odd, and very very different.
Yeah.
It's different. I have lived for several months in US.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived in Germany. I have
Mm-hmm.
lived in Bulgaria.
Mm-hmm.
There are much more similarities. However different these places
Okay.
are, there's much more
Interesting.
similarities
Mm-hmm.
than like UK is its own thing. It's
Okay.
very different, yeah.
Mm. Mm.
And it starts from the small everyday things,
Yes.
and end
Yeah.
up because the whole philosophy is very different to
Yeah.
life.
Interesting that you say America and Germany are very similar, and as well as, I mean, maybe I can understand Germany and Bulgaria being in Europe, but it's kind of even those two are very distinct cultures.
I'm saying that there's a common thread
Thread,
that
right, right.
thread that you think that they are asked. There's probably more about the figuring, I would say, more over engineering and thinking about rules and systems. Whereas just let's start. All these three countries
Yeah.
have their own written constitutions. Here, like, not so much, right? So there is constitution, but like it's kind of conventions and so. So this is what I'm
I
talking
see.
about. Like
Okay. Okay.
this not spoken things that are part
Right.
of the system, but not quite. And this is the odd thing.
Okay.
I
Interesting.
didn't know these things. I didn't know these
Yeah.
things before
Yeah.
coming here, and I needed to experience them
Yeah.
like for
Yeah.
several years until I realized the full extent of
Yeah.
how
Well,
different
it's
this is.
interesting. I never really see that because I've lived here for so many years, but it's always good to see that on the other side of the fence. What's the one thing that you had to learn the hard way?
And the same, give up control
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and be happy to juggle, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And know that sometimes you drop the ball,
Sure.
and that's fine, and you
Yep.
need to move on beyond that.
Yep. Yep. And not beat yourself up about it. How do you handle pressure in your career?
um hmm, I tend to absorb the pressure that's coming to my team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't I don't think that I'm sensitive to pressure that much.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I prefer to absorb it and not propagate it, so that I allow the team to actually be the most productive.
Okay.
Because I have observed that almost universally, when something is not working quite right,
Mm-hmm.
senior management usually wants, oh my god, that we need to control this. We need to understand, well, listen to me, that's not going to happen. This is not something that is controllable, right? It is
Yes.
a system that, like, it's not like even software design and software implementation is hard, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not quite predictable.
Mm-hmm.
In the data domain, it's even harder
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
hit from different sites with different data. Somebody changes a field here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't expect this to happen, but you need to be ready to react on that. So you like you're much less in control in the data domain.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I I try to explain basically that, okay, that's you want control, you want predictability, you would not have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
just, if you want that, you should be able to have infinite pockets, and you probably don't.
No one has
So,
that,
well,
unfortunately.
there are companies that I have not worked in financial institutions, so I can imagine that there's much more
You'd be
at stake
surprised.
there,
You'd be
but there's much
surprised.
more
Yeah.
money at stake there, right? So that
Yes.
you probably
Yeah.
you'd have this much more adequately if it's a problem that's coming
Mm-hmm.
to bite you with
Yeah.
hundreds of millions, right? Whereas in the smaller, like, is it worth it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that what I'm trying to say is I'm kind of not responding to the pressure
Right. Okay.
with causing myself stress, right? I'm
Yes.
trying
Yes.
to bounce it back and
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
okay, let's talk about it. Let's
Yeah.
see
Mm-hmm.
what exactly you need right now.
Mm-hmm. 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 It's a good way. Good way to do it. What did you want to do with your life at the age of 12?
I think I answered this earlier. I wanted to be a surgeon.
Yes. Yeah,
And
you
not
did
just
say
any
that.
surgeon. I wanted to be brain surgeon.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Yes.
Why
I
why
have no idea.
specifically brain?
Because I thought that's probably the most complicated thing to do.
Ah, yeah.
And as
Yeah.
a typical boy, you want to find something
Fine.
complex and disassemble it and see how it works and put it back together.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Thankfully you ended up in data science. So, you know,
It is, yeah,
it's
it
the
is
same thing,
kind of
really, isn't it?
the artificial brain,
Yes,
the
yes,
artificial brain,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. What's something you still like to learn?
I'm currently learning technical stuff, so that I don't forget this side of myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm learning something old,
Okay.
Fortran,
All right. Wow.
and
That is very old.
I'm learning something new, which is Rust.
Mm-hmm.
So two languages at the opposing sides of
Yes.
the
Yeah.
timeline.
Yeah. Right. Now I'm going to be specific here. The last question. You are an absolute foodie, but if you were stuck on an island and you can pick one food to eat forever without getting tired of it, what would you eat?
I don't think that I would be ever tired of steak.
Mm-hmm. Medium rare? Rare?
Rare.
Rare. Ah, very good. Very good. Alexander Radev, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on 66 Questions. You've been brilliant. Great to get to know the person behind the data leader. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Have a good day and we'll speak soon.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.